City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Trade Central.
Kia ora, tonight on City News. Rotorua Museum announces the winning students of the My World War I Hero Research Competition. The Fire Service is reminding locals to undertake a winter safety check, and the Sulphur City Lions celebrate their 23rd anniversary. Rotorua Museum has announced the winning students of their My World War I Hero Research Competition. Congratulations to English Written category winner Kate O'Leary of John Paul College, Written Māori category Naina Tapiata of Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Ruamata, Short English Film category Robbie Meredith from Mokoia Intermediate, and Short Māori Film category Holly Cash of Kaitau Middle School. The Years 7 and 8 students were asked to research and present a written account or short film about someone who served in World War I. The winners were selected from more than 50 entries across the district. Each of the winners will receive a personal iPad, and their school will receive a digital camera and a 3D printer, all generously donated by the Ngāti Whakaue Education Endowment Trust. Rotorua Museum's Education Manager Emma Lilly was thrilled with the response of the competition, saying the judges were hugely impressed with the quality of entries across all 4 categories. A selection of entries from the competition will be on display at the Energy Events Centre on Anzac Day morning and at Rotorua Museum from the 25th of April until Sunday the 3rd of May. Last week's unseasonal cold snap has prompted the fire service to remind locals of the importance of winter checks. Fire Safety Officer Stuart Booton says heaters and electric blankets that have been in storage need to be checked before being used.
Well, this time of year, as it's just become a bit cooler, make sure people do get their appliances checked out, because we don't want faulty appliances turned on. The dust in them over summer can also cause a fire to happen, so that's another issue that we need to be looked at. A vacuum cleaner is good before we use those electric heaters, and again, the meter heater rule, everything 1 metre from the heater.
Got a flyer out which covers quite a lot of facts and really helpful tips for our community to keep them safe. So where would they get this flyer from?
They can come to the station and pick it up from our reception, or if they see any of the firefighters around, just ask them and they'll quite gladly hand out a pamphlet for them.
And we have more on fire safety with Stuart Booton coming up in tonight's show. Local hairdresser Ance Haynes has opened a new barber shop that aims to provide the good parts of an old school barber shop and combining it with the stuff he loves, such as arcade games and good music, to create an atmosphere that's not just about the haircuts. He opened My Barber in Hinemoa Street earlier this month after deciding he might venture out on his own.
I think the traditional barber pole has been around for centuries. The shop, I've just put my own twist and tried to modernise it. Retro meets old school sort of flavour to a barber shop. So yeah, I think there's a few shops. I haven't been around too many barber shops to see if they got the same sort of feel, but I definitely added my own little twist to the shop.
The Sulphur City Lions have celebrated their 23rd anniversary this month with the opening of a new premises at the Tenai Shopping Centre. Reporter Melanie Groves caught up with the branch president Gail Doherty and vice president Judy Farrell to find out a bit more about the club's work.
This is the 23rd year of the charter anniversary for Sulphur City Lions. It was in April. We've just celebrated that on our business session last week. And we have currently 31 members, and of course always most acceptable to have new members join us.
I see a big pile of books just here in front of us, so please tell us what the pile of books are for.
Well, this is for our upcoming book fair for the marathon weekend, which is on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd over 3 days. We've been collecting books. We had a big stock left over from last year, which was good, and any of the donations will be much appreciated.
In sport tonight, to the weekend's local rugby results for the Central Bay of Plenty competition, Waikete beat Kahukura 27-16, Rotoiti took out Whakarewarewa 12-3, and Marist St Michael's beat Nongataha 27-6. And to the points table, Rotorua top the standings with 18 points. Waikite and Whakarewarewa are next, both on 14. And Mara, St Michael's and Kahukura have 4 points. And at the bottom is Nongataha, who are yet to score a win. To your weather update now. Tonight will be fine with light winds and an overnight low of 10. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mainly fine with morning fog patches, light winds, a high of 20 and a low of 10. And looking out to Wednesday, fine spells with light winds, a high of 19 and a low of 8. And the marine weather forecast for Tuesday, variable 5 knots with low waves, fine with early and late cloud. Remember, for program listings, check out our website tv.rotorua.co.nz or head to our TV Rotorua Facebook page. Still to come tonight on City News, we talk with Fire Safety Officer Stuart Booton, we catch up with local fashion designer Carl Wedapa, and Rotorua Lakes Councillor Karen Hunt has news about projects in the inner city.
City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Trade Central.
Well, daylight savings has ended, and that brings with us winter, but also a whole new range of fire risks to our community. We're down here at the New Zealand Fire Service Rotorua station with the man himself who deals with risk management, Stuart Booton. Thank you very much for having us, but let's get straight to it. You've got a flyer out which covers quite a lot of facts and really helpful tips for our community to keep them safe. So where would they get this flyer from?
They can come to the station and pick it up from our reception, or if they see any of the firefighters around, just ask them and they'll quite gladly hand out a pamphlet for them.
Now, this pamphlet really does give some handy, helpful tips. So let's start with heaters, because we know that as soon as winter comes, the heaters go on.
Oh, absolutely. The meter heater rule, most important. Turn the heater on, everything must be at least a metre from the heater. Very important that any heaters are checked as well. This time of year, as it's just become a bit cooler, make sure people do get their appliances checked out, because we don't want faulty appliances turned on. The dust in them over summer can also cause a fire to happen, so that's another issue that we need to be looked at. A vacuum cleaner is good before we use those electric heaters, and again, the meter heater rule, everything 1 metre from the heater.
Cool. And also I suppose that rule would pertain to fires as well.
Very good. The fireplace, the log burners, all have the same heating and danger capacity as a heater. So let's make sure there are fire guards around the fires. Let's make sure they have been swept. The chimney is swept from last winter. It's also good for the environment because it helps get a good fire burning, and the wood burns better that way, and we don't put so many toxic fumes into the air, so that's very good. Make sure the fire is in really good condition, that the bricks are in good condition, all the metal for the log burners is in good condition. And when you're storing your wood to burn, please, again, keep it 1 metre from your fireplace, outside the fire guard.
Oh, very nice. Now, after we've enjoyed that nice warm night by the fire, we then go to bed. And if you're anything like me, you've got an electric blanket on, so let's talk about the hazards there.
Oh yes, electric blankets. Every year we'll get a fire, at least one with an electric blanket. Most important that the cords are not frayed, that the switches are in good working order, and there's lots of things to do. Use your electric blanket as a warmer for the bed before you go to bed. Please turn it off when you hop into bed. Turn it off at the wall also. Don't use any sharp objects. Don't do your sewing and use pins and press them into the bed like a pin cushion. That's a recipe for disaster. and make sure that no heavy objects are placed on the bed while it is warming up. That is the pussycat as well.
Absolutely.
As well as clothing or anything like that.
Now, in summer, we enjoy the ability to be able to dry our clothes out in the sun, and the wind gets it all nice and crisp and dry. But in winter, unfortunately, we have to rely on the use of dryers, and I know that can play quite a hazard in your home.
Absolutely. Already this year, I have been along to 3 fires that have been caused from lint filters not being cleaned or incorrectly installed dryers. So it is very important that the lint filter is cleaned every time before you use the dryer. Make sure the vent is properly vented to outdoors and not just into your room. That lint, once warms up, becomes easy to ignite. And as I say, already 3 fires this winter.
Already this winter, it's only just begun, really. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that we've got the younger ones running around our home, and it's good for them to be fire wise. So let's talk about some of the things that we can speak with them about.
Oh, very good. We've got an amazing FireWise program for our younger generations. The FireWise program is run through our schools as well, and we're teaching them things like get down, get low, get out and stay out. Don't go back inside, don't stop for your toys, don't play with matches and lighters. We encourage our children also to ask mum and dad, their guardians, to make sure the smoke alarm is working as well, just so they have a bit of responsibility. They can hear that smoke alarm go when it's tested and know what to do should it go off in the middle of the night. Practice an escape plan for our children.
Now, you are definitely a seasoned firefighter, so just tell us about some of the risks in winter that you've had to go out to deal with.
It's amazing with the people getting caught up with their electric blankets. I've seen people with putting heaters on top of the bed. These sort of things, it's just things that all our messages come from, the meter heater rule, being safe, having smoke alarms that are working.
Lovely. Thank you very much for your time, Stuart.
Thank you.
Everybody, welcome back. Well, it is time now to talk with one of the most fabulous residents in Rotorua. He is Carl Werepa, the award-winning fashion designer, Medal Motor Supreme winner last year, on his way back to Fashion Week again, and of course the organiser of the extremely popular and highly successful recent show, Oho. Kia ora, Carl.
Kia ora, Kiri. It's great to see you again.
It's always a pleasure to be in your presence, I have to say. Feeling fabulous every time I'm around this man. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing just recently.
So recently, as you very well know, because you were the host of the event, we had the Oho show here in Rotorua, which we had over 200 people come to the event. It was a major success. There were some people sneaking in on the event, so that's really good, even though it wasn't the best thing. It was still exciting to have people trying to break in, you could say, gate crashes, Zoolander style. Anyway, so yes, Oho was a great success and we managed to get everything we wanted to achieve out of it. We had all of the youth from around Rotorua modelling at the event.
So it was a fabulous night. I was there, you're right, people were trying to sneak in left, right and centre, but it was so popular and Rotorua is so hungry for it.
Yes, well, it was a great success and I'm very pleased with the outcome of everything. We had so much support from Salon St Bruno, the VR Lakes Resort, Meetai. They sponsored some vouchers for the event. We also had Croucher Brewery, they sponsored the event, so it was a lot of help from a lot of local businesses. Our Andy's Party Hire sponsored us red carpets and a few other things, so It was because of all that business support which made it all the success it was. We had all of the right elements and in the right place. The hotel was out of town and it was romantic and secluded and it was exclusive. So it gave that element of luxury that the people wanted. And it was all important people that have worked years and years in Rotorua to build up the town, all put into one space to celebrate the most glamorous parts of Rotorua, which is the fashion designers.
Wasn't it wonderful though to see the fashion out there? We had Merea Ngātai, Adrian Whitewood, the Noble Savage, and of course yourself finished off the evening with such style. Tell me a little bit about what the reaction was to the show. What was the feedback?
We had a really great positive feedback. I've been approached from so many buyers, people that are interested in investing in my business, and the other designers, they had really positive feedback too, and I know that they're all receiving orders for their collections, and I know that people are now wanting, more businesses are now wanting to get involved in Oho 2016, and I've actually heard from people from Gisborne Council that want to have an Oho there. I was like, oh, it's exclusive to Rotorua. But there's a lot of businesses that are wanting to come on board now, so 2016 is looking very possible and very big for Oho.
Wonderful, absolutely fabulous. Now we need to say that if anybody does want to do anything with the Oho brand, then you need to be coming to Carl, because Carl, it is your concept and it's your baby.
Yes, it is, and there's heaps of people wanting to get involved in throwing ideas, so if anyone has any ideas or wants to support the Oho brand, they can just follow me on Facebook or contact me somehow. I'm easy to find, just Google.
So Carl, coming up shortly is another fashion show that you're supporting. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the fashion show, which is on the 21st of April, is the fashion show with a purpose, and this purpose is for the Auckland School for the Disabled in Henderson, Auckland, and the host of this show is Rotorua Wallace, who is running for Miss World New Zealand and representing Rotorua on the Miss World pageant stage. So I'm her sponsor for her evening wear and her cocktail wear, and she's organised this fabulous evening for people to come along, and it's $10 a ticket, and you can buy them at Māori Made on Henimoa Street, and it's $10 a ticket to watch the collections of Oho designers and some new designers that didn't show at the show. And all of the proceeds go to Auckland School for the Disabled, so I'm really excited to support this fabulous cause.
Lovely, because you want to be able to extend out and wave your magic wand far and wide, and being able to support charities like that. And Rotorua Wallace is wonderful, and that girl is up and coming, isn't she? I see her draped across your pages in your beautiful dresses, and I saw as well one of the judges from Miss New Zealand greeting you up to see if she could wear one of your dresses as well.
Oh yes, Bev, she's one of the judges for the show. I've known her for years and I really need to get onto that project.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We can't wait until we catch up with you again. Carl, of course, is going to be a regular on City News because he's in the news all the time. And all the very best with what you're doing. I just admire you so much. Kia ora.